Mark the Movie Man here again, and we're back with Cory Udler at the Madison Horror Film Festival. And Cory, after your world premiere of IDS Rising, it seems to have gotten a pretty good response, would you say?
Yeah, so far it's been great. Actually, what's funny is this is the first movie that I've done out of all of these where I've paid for the DVD printing within a few weeks of release. So not bad. I'm moving up in the world, Ma. Top of the world.
Now, you were involved in IDS Rising, were you not?
Two and
Rising, yes, and Mediatrix. So why don't you introduce yourself? Why don't you introduce yourself to the audience out there and what roles you played?
I'm Mike Katzenberger, or Katz, depending on if you're on set or not. In Mediatrix, I was the evil drug-dealing pedophile ex-doctor husband, and in the IDS2 and Rising, I'm the father, the big daddy.
I am your father.
Yeah. We get a cameo in 2 as the, could it be the homeless guy? Could it really be Jeb's daddy? And in IDS Rising, there is no mistake. And you have to buy this film because it is truly my greatest moment in theater. I can only ask to say the words that I got to say in this film. You don't get scripts like that everywhere, you know. Scorsese, Spielberg, I turned them down. I'm working with Udler. I don't care.
Now, Cory, we've talked to you a couple of times. Always a pleasure. Now, you've mentioned your influences for exploitation, and do you actually see kind of the exploitation coming back on the rise a little? I mean, I know Hollywood tries to do it, but would you say that interest in it is on the rise?
Well, I think what's kind of happened too is that Hollywood has taken all of the exploitation, and what they've done is they've put giant stars in it, and they've made huge budgets. You look at a movie like Machete, or, I mean, any number of these movies, even the Saw movies. I mean, these are exploitation movies. These are taking something, you know, like gore and just splashing the screen with so much gore. So I think what separates guys like myself, guys like Derek and the guys from Swamphead, guys like Thomas Berdinsky, you know, guys like John Pata, is that we can actually do things and say things in these movies that they can't in Hollywood, can't or won't. So, you know, I don't try to compete with it, and I know there's a lot of guys who are making exploitation movies, and, you know, at the end of the day, you can't capture what the exploitation movies were. You can't go back. It's done. It's dead. It was an era. It's over with. So what you do is you kind of take your influences, mine, of course, being Ted V. Michaels, you know, Herschel Gordon Lewis, Ray Dennis Steckler, John Waters, Lloyd, George Romero, Charles Band, you know, and kind of just taking the little bits and pieces of things that I've learned from them as people, but also from their movies, and then, you know, kind of adding my own stink to it and then excreting this stuff onto the screen for the world to see. But, you know, you see so many of these movies, and I'm so sick and tired of the terms, it's a throwback movie to 80s slashers, or it's an exploitation movie, it's a cult movie. Well, that's not up to you to decide. That's up to an audience to decide what this movie is. Because you make the movies, you turn them over, and once I'm done with these movies, I go through this period where I'm kind of like, oh, it's gone. Because when I get done with these and I send them out, I'm done. I go, this movie's no longer mine. You know, it's for everybody who's going to support these movies, and I love that people do. But, you know, IDS Rising ain't mine anymore. So, you know, I think that's the whole thing. I think it's a lot of contrived exploitation, but I think the guys that are really doing the exploitation don't think they're doing classic exploitation or throwback or this or that. I think they're just making movies that they want to make the way they want to make them, and that's exciting, you know. But when you see things where they're telling you what it is, God, I hate that. It just makes me sick.
Now, for you, what's it like working with Cory?
What I would suggest you do is go out there and find a bunch of those women in prison films, and just pretend that Cory Udler is the warden and the actors are the actors. No, that's a lie. That's a lie.
So he asked you to take your top off a lot and go in the shower?
Yeah, way before the filming started. I'd get calls at night, and he'd stop me at work as I'm coming. That's how I got the part. And I'm not afraid. It's a casting couch for Cory, mostly for the guys. Yeah, right. The women, he's very respectful of. Very much. Right, that's right. No, in reality, it's I've done about 12 movies. Getting into film only like 3-4 years ago from theater, and working with Cory, and because I don't get paid, I don't have to fluff his ego. Right. Is he knows what he wants, but the best part about working with him is that he gives you a script, and it's really just a guideline. It's really just, this is my idea, because when he gets on set, and Mediatrix, probably the best example of this so far of any of the films that I've been in, is it's almost a communal creation thing, because lines will change. The whole character that Greg did in Mediatrix went from what originally was going to be a hard guy character to this kind of goofy Rain Man meets Army of the Dead kind of thing, and it was genius. But he had seen it one way, and when it was presented to him, went, yeah, let's do that. It's not that hard line, oh, it's my movie, it has to be this way. And I've worked with guys where it's like, no, it was not they. Right. But it's really a great experience, and that's why I'm always on board. When a new one comes out, he just has to call me and say, hey, I'm making a movie. Great. What am I doing? Gaffer, key grip, I don't care. Because I want to be there. I want to see what happens. And amazing talent. Everybody that's been in these films with me, I bow to their greatness, because they make me want to be a better actor. For sure.
And
the thing with Mediatrix, with Greg's character, was Greg had it, he read it, and all he said to me was, hey, for Stu, I have an idea. I said, don't tell me what it is. I said, when we roll, I said, that's when I'll see it. And he did, and I was like, Greg, you're a beautiful maniac. And he is, too. He's the best.
So you're kind of like that kid in Super 8 that kept changing, right? Oh, wait, I've got more lines for you.
Yeah, exactly. The funny part is, like I said, when these movies, and the way I look at them is that these are all of our movies. Yeah, I'm the guy that's out at this stuff, and I'm doing this, and they're doing interviews and going to conventions and screenings, and I'm at all of this stuff because I am the director and this and that. But really, at the end of the day, I could not, if any one of the pieces of the puzzle to any of these movies was not in place, I couldn't have done them. I couldn't have made them. They would not be here. So, I mean, from everybody who's helped out, that's, and this guy has not helped me with my career whatsoever. But, if any of the pieces weren't in place, they wouldn't be the movies that they are, and I'd never be able to get them done. So these really are, like Kat said, they are communal movies, and we all made them. They're all our movie,
Well, we appreciate it very much. Thank you, as always, taking time. Pleasure to meet you.